What's going on? We're gonna get to some reactions today. Haven't done these in a while, so we've got a lot of videos to get to. I picked out I handpicked a few for today. We'll do some more Saturday, and we'll do some more Sunday too. But yeah, let's get on it. Get after it, man. Let's start with this one. 10 terrible Vince McMahon rules that Triple H has killed forever in WWE. I'm actually really curious. I'm actually really curious about what those rules could be, because I know Vince had some weird rules. Like nobody was doing pile drivers. Like I watched that the other day, where Mr. Kennedy did a pile driver on the Undertaker, and Vince pulled him aside and said, "There's only two people that can do that in this company, and you're not one of them." So I'm interested to see. Let's get into it. Oh,
Be sure to subscribe and
I
hit
just
that
realized you can
notification
hear
bell
it.
for daily.
Let me
Did not want
start
to
it
do
over.
this. I'm trying to do what's right for the business.
10 Vince McMahon things that Triple H killed off in WWE. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on WrestleMania XL. Number 10, making legends feel inferior. Now, whilst Vince McMahon
Interesting.
often liked to use legends on WWE programming, with WWE hosting nights such as Legends Night, and McMahon even putting legends in featured programs, it was a common consensus that McMahon didn't give them the respect that they deserved backstage. Thankfully, under Triple H's leadership, this has vastly changed. The legends...
I feel like you can definitely tell. I didn't realize backstage it was such a problem, but you can definitely tell in who's coming back and who's, been on TV, and even just who's been in the crowd ever since Triple H took over. It feels like a renaissance of older talent coming back just to, spend some time with the company and with the wrestlers and maybe relive a couple glory days. As you would see it with Vince, but it didn't feel like they wanted to be there, if that makes sense.
when they visit WWE are treated with respect and love, and Triple H insists that the
As it
modern
should
roster
be.
acknowledge the work of the stars of yesteryear. Former WWE European Champion X-Pac confirmed how well Triple H treats legends during an interview with Sports Illustrated. "We get treated so well regarding recent appearance. That wasn't always the way it was. There's been times over the years I've seen older wrestlers so disappointed that they weren't even acknowledged. It's a big deal to us. This was our life, so it means the world to be treated the way we're treated."
Yeah, I could definitely see
Being at
that.
Raw, I loved it. I was telling my wife this, even people I wasn't close with back in the day, I'm so happy to see them now. Now, the game has even gone out of his way to make amends with former enemies such as Scott Steiner and CM Punk, and it's clear that Triple H believes that no bridge is truly burnt when it comes to WWE. Number 9.
I feel like that's very true. And we saw that even as recent as the Royal Rumble. The with the Nikki Bella. The Bella twins left on horrible terms under the Vince McMahon administration, right? The Bella twins were on bad terms. And she just appeared for the Rumble. Like that's a lot of work put in for somebody who may or may not wrestle on TV again. She might have just done a one-off appearance. We don't know, but it was awesome to see her, especially knowing how things were left off. Right? It's very evident that he wants, former members and former roster members and former wrestlers to feel comfortable coming back. God is good 0. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Longer PLEs. Vince McMahon was obsessed with stacking pay-per-views from top to bottom with matches. This had some positives as it allowed a range of talent to receive pay-per-view time and a pay-per-view payday. However, certain pay-per-views lasted for an eternity, and nothing was
That is
given
true.
the opportunity to be memorable due to the sheer length of the pay-per-view runtime. This is the complete opposite approach that Triple H takes, as pay-per-views, now referred to as premium live events, only feature a few matches, and this allows matches appropriate time to make a statement. Whilst it's understandable,
I will say, I'm so indifferent about, not even indifferent. I'm so on the fence about whether I like his PLE style or not. Like I really love the fact that these matches are getting time, but I also feel like it's almost too short with all they have going on right now. Right? They introduced the Women's United States Championship and the Women's Intercontinental Championship when the Intercontinental Championship and the United States Championship don't get defended often on PLEs. And they've got the tag team championships that were defended at the Royal Rumble, but that was like the first time they've been defended on a PLE in, I don't even know. I don't even remember the last time. Like it's the last time I can really remember was WrestleMania with the ladder match. So it does leave out things that could have probably made the show. Some of the matches were cut down a little bit, right? But I do like that these matches are getting the time that they deserve. Because these people work hard on them, right? They work really hard. They're putting their bodies on the line for our entertainment. And they deserve the time of day for us to watch it and for them to have the adequate amount of time to get what they need to get done, right? So it makes a lot of sense to shorten it and lengthen the matches, but I do feel like we're missing things in these PLEs. And I think one of the things that has kind of mitigated that a little bit is Saturday Night Main Event. You were able to put some of these matches that wouldn't fit on the Rumble for sure on Saturday Night Main Event. And when we start seeing the 2-day PLEs with SummerSlam and the Rumble, and I think they have one more that's supposed to be moving to 2-day events. So we'll be able to see more of that on there, which will be nice. But Saturday Night Main Event right now is playing a huge role in offloading some matches that should be PLE matches and making them and giving them their own time, right? But yeah, I think he's done a good job with the PLE so far, but I just do wish we were getting a few more championship fights on them, right?
Understandable why the game likes this formula. It hasn't been perfect and has received some criticism. Triple H rarely deviates away from this model, and this means that certain matches that should take place on a PLE match card end up taking place on Raw and SmackDown. Additionally, titles such as the tag titles have just become...
One other note that I'd like to make about this, because I think something that we're forgetting about some of these things, like obviously Raw and SmackDown need good matches and good feuds to carry the shows week to week before the PLEs. And so some of these things, like the Punk and Seth feud, can be moved to Raw if they know it's going to last a while, right? They can throw it on a Raw and just kind of have a one-off match, and then they still bicker and fight with each other backstage, and then build for a bigger moment. If that makes sense, right?
Afterthoughts, as they haven't even been defended on a single,
especially since they've had trouble
this is due to the limited match cards
in the past of keeping people watching the show.
Breaking records left, right, and center, it's unlikely that this is going to change anytime soon. And the only events that the game will break away from this booking pattern will be WrestleMania events, as well as other 2-night PLEs such as the upcoming SummerSlam show. Number 8, the 24/7 title. The 24/7 title was introduced in 2019.
Hot take, I didn't hate the 24/7 title.
And it was designed to bring some raw excitement to Monday nights. Even though the title has had some fun segments and moments over the years, WWE eventually lost interest, and it was reported that the infamous title was never mentioned in creative meetings. One of Triple H's first acts as head of WWE Creative was to retire the title immediately, as hilariously Nikki Cross would attempt to dump the title in a trash can, which was certainly symbolic, as it was Triple H basically telling the audience what he really thought of the title, even though she missed the pin completely. Number 7, scripting the commentary team.
That's so funny.
Vince McMahon loved to micromanage his announce team. It was common knowledge that McMahon directed traffic through a headset, and he was even said to scream down the headset whenever a commentator said something he didn't like. This style of management was very hard on commentators, and it led to numerous names quitting the position over the years. Yet Michael Cole continued on and did his best under extreme difficult working conditions.
I feel like if you try to micromanage people who are watching the show and supposed to be reacting to it live, you lose some of the authenticity of the show, right? If you're saying, "Hey, you can't say that," and maybe it's after the fact, but if they have something they feel like they should say, and you tell them not to, and tell them say this instead, it kind of loses some of the personality of the commentary, which is what you're going to hear through the entire match. Like, you want good commentary. So, like, making people bow down to your will on commentary is kind of crazy to me, and kind of, scripting commentary. Scripting commentary is insane, but I'm kind of glad that Triple H has apparently gotten rid of it.
One of the first things Triple H did was give his commentary team more freedom, and the quality of the commentary output in WWE vastly improved overnight.
It really did.
Cole, as well as other commentators, began to call the product with love and passion, and the commentary has quite rightly received rave reviews. Cole himself has spoken at length about how happy he is under Triple H's management, and this is what the WWE veteran had to say during an appearance on the Pat McAfee show. I think that freedom has really allowed the superstars, and I know for me and I know for Pat as well, has allowed us to be more entertaining, to be more relaxed.
It really
to be able to
has.
sit back and enjoy this product as a fan. Also, who knows characters better than the character? Seth Rollins knows his character better than anyone on the planet, so why not allow him to be able to bring that character forward? I've seen everything in this business for nearly 30 years. I've never had as much fun as I've had the last couple of years, not only working with you, but working with Paul Levesque. Now it's wonderful to hear
That's so
much
awesome.
fun in his job, and he's an
I'm
NFL
glad
who only
Michael
deserves
Cole's
all
actually
the love and
having a good
appreciation he's been
time.
receiving over the past few years, and no doubt a future Hall of Famer. Number 6, alienating the international audience. One of the most frustrating.
They have done a huge push into international audiences, which I think is great, but it does limit my ability to watch shows in person. And that's just me being selfish and nitpicky, but like, I want to go to, all these events, but I definitely can't fly to France for like events. I can't fly to Saudi for events. So, it's just me being selfish, and I'm glad they're getting their time with these events and actual dedicated shows. But
of being a WWE fan when Vince McMahon was around the company was that he mainly focused on the US market. Whilst WWE would deliver European tours, an international PLE was simply out of the question outside of a few pre-selected nations, but thankfully in 2022 this all changed.
oh yeah, that was
Nick Khan and
huge.
Triple H wanted to focus on expanding and rewarding the international market, and since then there have been major events in countries such as England, Wales, Scotland, France and Germany, just to name a few.
They haven't really broken out of Europe, but
overseas is now a yearly
I don't really know where
and
else
it
you would
makes it
go.
incredibly exciting to be an international WWE fan. These
Well, plus
events do
Australia.
amazing numbers
I don't know
for
if he
WWE,
mentioned
and
that.
According to Khan during an interview with World Congress of Sports, international PLEs are here to stay. We sat down together a few years ago and decided so the big 5 premium live events should be in the US or Canada. All of the other events, the goal is to have them in international locations. There have been calls to have a WrestleMania event overseas, and with the 2026 Royal Rumble taking place in Saudi Arabia, this does.
I'm not excited about that, to be honest with you. I'm gonna be straight up. I'm not happy about the Rumble in Saudi. The move I don't think they should have to make. The Rumble is one of their biggest events of the year. Why are they moving it to Saudi? And then we're gonna get 2 other dedicated Saudi shows probably. Like, that's 3 shows in Saudi. And your shows in Saudi are never your best shows. I don't know.
Doesn't seem far-fetched. Number 5, a ban on independent bookings. A WWE contracted wrestler working in another promotion under Vince McMahon would have been highly unlikely. However, under Triple H, it's now become more common. Triple H allows his talent to work dates outside of WWE under certain circumstances, and due to Triple H working with promotions such as
I do
Noah,
love
even
this.
TNA,
This has been my favorite thing of the Triple H era, is the working with other promotions, because I think working with other promotions only brings positives to the wrestling world, right? The biggest company in the world wants to work with these smaller promotions because they have some incredible talent. We want to share our talent with you to make better shows, gain fans, make more money. I think it's a great thing. Like the TNA partnership has been amazing. The Pro Wrestling Noah one has been really interesting, and something I've been keeping my eye on is Omos was over there and a tag team champion. Shinsuke Nakamura has been over there twice. AJ Styles has been over there. And right now, they have Inamura in NXT, who, is a Pro Wrestling Noah star. And so I think the more this fleshes itself out, we're going to be really, really happy with the results.
WWE wrestlers are showing up in promotions all over the world. And Triple H has realized that allowing wrestlers to do this doesn't just keep them happy, it also helps other promotions, which can come in handy when looking at signing new talent. Cutting off other promotions is easily done, but it's always easier and healthier to have some type of working relationship with these companies.
Yeah,
Triple H even
100%.
agreed to have TNA talent.
Because you can cut out other promotions, right? You're the biggest promotion in the world. You can undercut any deal you want. But it makes more sense for you to be on good terms with these other companies. The better the terms, the more likely you are to snag some of the talent and be able to, even if you take one, give one, like one of those situations. You never know what could happen. If you're working together, the sky is the limit.
In the 2024 Rumble, and hearing the WWE commentary team talk openly about TNA storylines and lore was truly groundbreaking. Number 4, sporadic booking. Long-term storytelling is something that Triple H thrives himself on. Triple H loves to tell stories over a period of months or even years, and whilst Triple H did deliver some long-term storytelling, a lot of his storylines seem sporadic and just thrown together. In fact, it was often said that McMahon would rewrite the show hours before it was set to go live, and some weeks McMahon would be rewriting the show as it was in progress.
I remember hearing the last show that McMahon was at, the whole thing was scrapped before the show started, and at almost every moment something had changed, which is insane. I'm more than glad that Vince McMahon is gone, and he can stay gone forever. And this isn't exclusively because of the lawsuit. This is because he drove the product into the ground. The lawsuit is a whole other thing that is another major reason he should never come back. But when we're talking about the show itself, he should never touch a headset again. He shouldn't. Even if the lawsuit clears him and WWE wants to bring him back or TKO wants to bring him back, he should never touch another headset while this company is working. Because he is awful for business. He has no idea what he's doing.
Speaking to Variety in 2023, the game outlined his way of booking the WWE product, and it made for a fascinating read. Vince was always thinking long term. Whether it gets executed that way or whether it wasn't, I didn't know. But for me, it's how I think because it was how I was taught by him. I'm always trying to think about the long-term storyline. I was at SummerSlam, and one of the first things I talked to the team about is, okay, where do we want to go for WrestleMania? What's that goal? Obviously, it's going to change, but what's the target goal? It's like a GPS. Whilst extended
Well, this is
storylines
a really
don't
good
appeal
way to look at
everyone,
it.
there's no questioning the game's success.
Especially because you're going from your biggest show of the year you're going from your second biggest show of the year looking into your biggest show of the year. And they may have a long time frame in between them, but things that don't get resolved at WrestleMania get resolved at SummerSlam, right? And so looking at SummerSlam and saying, all right, where are we going from here to WrestleMania is incredible long-term booking, but I think it's the probably the best thing to do as an outsider, as a fan. Like, obviously I have no experience in booking a wrestling organization. But in my head, it makes the most sense to be like, all right, we just wrapped up our second biggest event of the year. Let's start looking at our biggest. So it makes sense to me.
This area with storylines such as the Bloodline Saga and Cody Rhodes finishing his story. Number 3, banned words. Now, the list
Oh,
of
this
words
was
that
funny.
Vince McMahon banned his wrestlers and commentators from saying was
Yeah, there's some
endless.
goofy words on that
Words
list.
such as belt and even wrestling would land a talent in hot water, and they would even receive a fine for saying the specific word. Thankfully, this bizarre and outdated rule has been abolished, as Triple H has allowed his talent to say whatever they like, within reason of course. Limiting the vocabulary of wrestlers and commentators did nothing but harm the product. And at
I
times
agree.
was
It goes
more than
back to
obvious
this.
that
It goes back to the exact same thing I was saying about the commentating is if you can't allow a wrestler to be their true authentic self, you can't allow a commentator to be their true authentic self, the product begins to feel inauthentic. Right? Easy. Easy.
promo or sentence was directly from McMahon himself, and this lack of authenticity was a massive hindrance to the product. Number 2, breaking kayfabe. Now, only under set circumstances would Vince McMahon allow his talent to break kayfabe. McMahon kept this approach for decades, and to his credit, this was something that fans never took issue with. Under Triple H, elements of kayfabe are scaled back, and it was presented on Raw on the Netflix premiere that WWE was strictly a show and fans were watching a scripted spectacle. The opening to Raw on Netflix featured phrases such as heel and face, and to hear these words said openly.
I will say this is one thing I do miss. I do miss the element of kayfabe. Like, obviously, there's a little bit left, right? Like, kayfabe is still alive. But the level of kayfabe that they had before that led people to believe fully that, you know, these wrestlers hated each other or things in the business were real. I kind of hate that we're getting away from that. And I understand, like, as time grows and things are figured out, you know, people know. People know. But I kind of enjoyed the illusion, the break from reality for a little bit, right? But I don't hate the product that's coming out now. That's for sure. Yeah, I have a whole channel dedicated to it. But I do kind of miss some elements of kayfabe.
It led to fans having a mixed response. The game would address WWE doing this on the post-Raw press conference, saying, "The reaction seems like we did a good job with it. That was the intent, to capture the emotion and let people know we're not hiding what we do." I saw a lot of chatter from the people saying, "Oh my god, they said heel and face and shoot and work in one promo. We're not hiding what we do. That's what we do." To be honest, I think most of the world understands those terms and they've almost transcended our business. It is what it is. People know what we are. We talk about it. We're not
I mean, it's
insulting
fair.
anybody's intelligence. We're an art form. Absolutely an art form that captures people's emotions. We don't take ourselves as seriously as most of the other people take us. It was all part of trying to capture that and say, if you've watched, watch this, and hopefully we'll honor what you love. If you never watched this, watch this. We'll explain to you what we are. That was the attempt. Triple H makes a
I mean,
compelling
it
point.
makes
However,
sense,
there's a
right?
portion of the fan
I
base
don't
that likes to
mind
see
that.
kayfabe kept intact at all times, and that's completely understandable. And number 1, mass micromanagement.
This
One
is
of
probably
things
the
that was
best thing.
detrimental to the WWE product, particularly during Vince's final few years in charge, was his habit of micromanaging talent in every aspect. Whether it be promos or matches, McMahon took ownership of every aspect, and all areas of WWE programming suffered as a result. Virtually every promo, unless you were named such as Cena, was scripted, and wrestlers weren't allowed to deviate in any way from the scripted material. And this is why promos often felt completely flat, as it was being written by a 70-year-old man
Right.
who was definitely out of touch with the
100%.
outside world. Triple H realized this
100%. Like, the promos we're getting nowadays are 20 million times better than the promos that we were getting back then when Vince was in charge and he was scripting everything. You give him a couple points and say, hey, this is what you got to hit, and then make it up from there. And usually you end up with gold, right? You end up with raw, unfiltered emotion. And that's what people want. That's what people want to see, is true emotion.
early on during his takeover at WWE that talent needed to be given freedom, and that the micromanagement style needed to be abolished in favor of a sportive, cooperative environment. Talent were given freedom to get over, and there's not been a better example of this than Drew McIntyre. McIntyre's promo work since Triple H took over has been world class, and the man himself discussed
Really
every
has.
topic during an appearance on the Masked Man show. The creative environment with WWE, Triple H kind of leading the charge. This is freedom that feels like I've never felt before. To truly go all the way now, and you can see so many different people, guys and girls across the board finding themselves. And we got so many superstars now. The show doesn't revolve around the same 2 or 3 people. This is without a doubt a key factor in the WWE product booming since the game took over. And this is an approach that McMahon could have easily taken. That's if he just let his stubbornness go in favor of creating a superior WWE product. But
I agree.
10 Vince McMahon things that Triple H has killed off in WWE. What is the best thing that...
Yeah, I think they're completely right with the last point there. I think allowing people to be their most authentic selves in an entertainment business is the best possible thing to happen, right? Because if they're not playing a character, right, they may be playing a character because, you know, these people might not be using their own names. Like CM Punk is not using his real name. Let's be honest. It's sort of a character. But he's allowed to show his emotion through his words as CM Punk, his emotions as Phil through CM Punk. And that's what has made this new era so incredible to watch and so much fun to watch. I love this new era. I think it's great. Great video from WrestleMania. I always mess that up. WrestleMania. Give it a like. If you haven't subbed, I'm surprised you haven't. 2.13 million subs is insane. But yeah, they do a really good job. I like their videos a lot. But yeah, you know, if you go over there and comment, you came from my video, let them know. So, but we're going to move into another one.
10 wrestlers who downgraded they 10 wrestlers.
Stop. All right. Yeah, this is another this is another WrestleMania video. Wrestlers who downgraded their career. I'm super interested to see who's in this because EC3 was in the thumbnail for this. And he definitely downgraded his career. I'm going to be honest with you. He might have gotten a bigger paycheck, but he definitely downgraded his career.
10 wrestlers who downgraded their careers in a new promotion. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number
Facebook.
10, Lance Storm.
Lance
Storm is
Storm.
often credited
Yeah.
as the man who kicked off the Invasion storyline, and it's a true testament to Storm's star power at the time that he delivered the first strike in what would be one of the biggest storylines WWE have ever delivered. During Storm's WCW run between 2000 to 2001, he emerged as a breakout star for the promotion as his heel work was tremendous and his in-ring work was way ahead of its time.
He did all right in TNA, didn't he? I feel like he did fine in TNA, but yeah, this is definitely like nobody thinks of Lance Storm when they think of WWE.
Storm had all the tools to be a main event attraction for the company, and he was without a doubt someone the company should have put some stock behind during the final few months of the promotion's existence. When Storm was brought into WWE in 2001, he had a great first few months in the promotion, as his run in the mid-card and his matches against the likes of Edge were actually excellent. However, it was only a matter of time before Vince McMahon took exception to Storm's lack of charisma, and Storm was then relegated to solely being in tag teams. By the year 2003, Storm was nothing more than an enhancement talent for the company, and WWE would even actively mock Storm live on air, as Stone Cold Steve Austin would fall asleep during his matches. Number 9, Mike Awesome.
Yeah, Mike Awesome. Bro, Mike Awesome. Mike Awesome is awesome. Like, if you've never watched Mike Awesome, you need to go back and watch some ECW, bro. Mike Awesome's that dude. Like, he's that dude. It is a shame that he never really made it past ECW.
WCW World Champion Mike Awesome, WCW had a great opportunity to freshen up their main event picture, and Awesome had every tool to deliver in this role. Awesome had a fantastic look, and more importantly, he was going to be able to have stellar matches, which was something that the core WCW audience was crying out for at the time.
Oh,
Instead
yeah.
of pushing Awesome to the moon, WCW Creative decided to give Awesome 2 gimmicks, and
Is that
both were
R-Truth?
abysmal and insulting. One of his gimmicks was known as that 70s guy.
Oh, that's
made Awesome
awful.
Act like he was from the 70s, like literally. This was so
That's
generic and
awful.
bland and had zero substance. Awesome's more infamous gimmick was known as the Fat Chick Thriller, and this involved
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I think I saw that on Twitter the other day, but yeah, I forgot that was him. What a crazy time that was just something that was okay. Like, they put that on TV and people were like, oh, yeah, yeah. It makes sense. Oh, yeah, that's a good character right there.
Awesome attempted to sleep with overweight women. This came at a time where every wrestler in the company had to have a
gosh.
nonsensical gimmick, and assigning Awesome gimmicks of this nature was the exact reason as to why his WCW run completely flopped. Number 8. Raven. Raven was one of the more interesting
Raven,
characters in the
that's so
90s. He
sad.
managed to get over both in WCW and ECW, and it was mainly down to the fact that Raven's gimmick had a ton of depth, and the motivations of the character were always fascinating. Although Raven was a big name in each of these promotions, when he returned to WWE in 2000, everything seemed to fall apart. Raven would make his debut at the Unforgiven pay-per-view, and unfortunately, this was the only time in which Raven was presented as a big deal in the company.
I feel like one of the things that really stunted Raven was that they didn't take the hardcore title very seriously. Which, I mean, they at that point, they were like, it was almost a 24/7 championship, right? And so Raven could have taken the hardcore championship and made it something serious, but it might have been too far gone at that point. But that is sad that Raven couldn't get over in the WWE, because I remember watching Raven. I've seen every episode of Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, and I liked Raven. I liked Raven a lot. But yeah, it does suck that he couldn't make it in the WWE.
He was mainly used in the hardcore division, and although he did his best in this role, he was capable of so much more.
Yeah, because
According to
WWE
Raven in
put
a shoot
zero
interview, he knew
emphasis
he
on
wasn't gonna be
hardcore.
booked right the moment he found out that Vince McMahon questioned why he'd been rehired. Michael Hayes was in a booking meeting when Vince McMahon said, "Who the F hired Johnny Polo?"
I forgot he was
broken when
also
I
Johnny
realized it wasn't
Polo.
gonna be used right. Number 7, EC3.
Yeah.
EC3 became a huge deal when he signed for TNA. He had a unique gimmick, and as his run went on, he seemed to just get better and better as a performer. It was only a matter of time before WWE came calling, and when it was reported that EC3 had signed for WWE and he was going to be able to keep his EC3 name and gimmick, fans were more than excited. EC3 would have a brief run in NXT, but it was declared that he was main roster ready within a few short months. This run on the main roster was unbelievably bad, and it took just a few matches for WWE to lose complete faith in the former TNA World Champion. Former WWE Chairman
This is one of those instances where everybody wants to be a WWE guy, but not everybody's going to be a WWE guy or should be a WWE guy. And I think EC3 is one of those guys that he could have been wildly successful if he stayed with TNA, right? But WWE came calling, and to WWE he went. I think there are wrestlers like on AEW's roster who are better suited for AEW than they are WWE. They'll come to WWE and they won't be able to get over like they have in AEW. And it'll be a detriment to their career. And there's guys in WWE that if they were to go to AEW, might be a big thing for a couple months. And then after that, they're just going to be stuck in catering, stuck at home, doing indie shows, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're truly good at where you are, until it gets bad, you might want to just stay.
Vince McMahon took issue with the fact that during a match that EC3 had against Dean Ambrose, Ambrose was the one being cheered. All the blame bizarrely fell on EC3, and he would subsequently be removed from WWE programming. They had such a great opportunity with the EC3 character, yet the stubbornness of Vince McMahon massively hindered his success. Number 6. The Sandman. It was a smart call for WWE to bring the Sandman in for an EC.
This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Sandman was amazing in ECW, right? Sandman was cookie cutter ECW, which there's nothing wrong with being cookie cutter ECW because that's being unique in the wrestling world. But the way Sandman carried himself and wrestled, he could not make it in the WWE. Vince McMahon had way too many restrictions to allow someone like Sandman to truly be himself and be who the fans know him as.
ECW relaunch in 2006. The Sandman was a household name for the ECW brand, and it would have been odd to have an ECW product without the Sandman attached to it. It was evident early on in that WWE had no idea how to present him outside of a brief cameo, and in 2007 they made the bold call to draft the Sandman to Raw. Moving the Sandman to a non-ECW show made zero sense, as it was going to expose the character, and that's exactly what happened. Ultimately, the Sandman's WWE run was a complete waste of time, and he was presented as more of a novelty act than a character that fans should actually care about.
Like, there are guys in ECW that made it out of ECW and were fine. Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, two easy examples. But then there are guys like Sandman, guys like Tommy Dreamer, who being an ECW guy was part of their character, and now that that's gone, they have to replace it with something, and WWE doesn't have an equivalent. Like, they can have their own ECW program, but it's not the same ECW. It's not at all. And so that's where Sandman and Tommy Dreamer fall, and a handful of other guys that were really, really big in ECW.
Number 5, DDP.
DDP.
In 2001, DDP was one of the most popular wrestlers in the world that wasn't signed to WWE. Therefore, when it was reported that he would be coming to the WWE following the WCW buyout, there were high hopes. WWE had a backwards creative idea for him.
I remember this,
a stalker. DDP would stalk The Undertaker's real-life wife, and this was a character trait that made zero sense. He would explain that he wanted to make an impact, yet this more sinister side of him was never present during his main event run in WCW. Fans instantly rejected the character,
this was
and
weird.
rightly so. DDP's subsequent matches with The Undertaker were met with lukewarm reviews, and WWE were even accused of outright burying DDP in the feud, as they had him lose to The Undertaker's wife on Raw. When the feud came to an end, they were completely over DDP as a legitimate character, so much so that they...
There's like sometimes things work and you don't need to change anything, and I hate that about the WWE. Is like people like DDP could have had a long and awesome career with the WWE, but they were so afraid of using something from another company that they couldn't let him have it. Like, it's so dumb. Like, he was so over with WCW, and to bring him in and make him do something stupid like stalk The Undertaker's wife, like, what are we doing?
Placed him in the lower mid-card, competing for the European title. DDP's WWE run was filled with what-ifs, and we never know what his career would have been like if they just presented him like the star he was. DDP would reflect on the disastrous WWE run during an interview with Sportskeeda, and he believes that being a mark for Vince McMahon was a huge detriment to him. I think one of the biggest things hurting me going into the WWE, I was too much of a mark for Vince. As a kid growing up, I freaking thought Vince McMahon was what he is. He is the Grand Poobah. I respected him so much walking in there, probably too much. Vince Russo will tell you this, you gotta be able to fight your way in there, and I was happy to be there. I just wanted to be there because I loved that since I was a kid, since it was the WWF. I watched Vince interview Andre on Apple Carts, and Vince, who is 6'2", looks like a midget next to Andre the Giant, and I loved the guy. I understood it was business. Number 4, Andrade.
Oh,
There's
Andrade.
usually an expectation that when a wrestler goes from WWE to AEW, that AEW will present them significantly better. Fans definitely had this expectation when it came to Andrade, yet his AEW run was frustrating to watch.
Yeah, it was bad. His AEW run was bad. I really just hope they would just let him go to like CMLL and finish out his contract over there. But yeah, his AEW run was was piss poor. And I'm a huge fan of Andrade. It actually made me sad to watch his AEW run.
AEW struggled with how to book him, and this was seen by countless managers he would have during his time in the promotion. Whenever Andrade would be booked to wrestle, he would have great matches, yet he would struggle to have meaningful storylines in the company, and fans would often forget that he was even signed. Towards the end of his run, Andrade would even begin to like tweets criticizing the company, and this was a sign that his run needed to come to an end. Andrade would end up departing the company and would embark on a WWE return in early 2024.
And he's done fantastic
Number
so
3,
far.
John Morrison.
I think
Sometimes in pro wrestling,
I think Andrade's due for a strap. Like he'll be belted up here pretty soon. That US championship division is honestly kind of good. And I believe we're gonna be seeing a lot out of it here pretty soon. So buckle up. Andrade could be a champion here soon and make me very happy.
particularly when it comes to major promotions such as WWE, it's obvious that a run isn't going to live up to expectations. John Morrison was expected to return to TV in early 2020, and fans hoped that Morrison would make a surprise return in the annual Royal Rumble match. However, WWE had different ideas, as they had Morrison return in an awkward backstage segment on SmackDown. WWE would then reform the Miz and Morrison pairing, and whilst this
I actually really like the Miz and
Morrison
Morrison.
was a main eventer in TNA and Lucha Underground, and he could have easily been a great addition to the upper echelon of WWE. The most
I agree.
infuriating thing about his final WWE run for Morrison is that he was often presented as the Miz's sidekick. Whilst the comedy was fine and his body of in-ring work was great, he was never presented as a true threat. And it didn't exactly come as a massive surprise when they would release the talented star in 2021. Number 2, Vader.
That's so sad because Morrison was one of my favorites to play as on all the games. And I think he's got one of the highest ceilings out of any of these wrestlers that was on this list. He could have been like a top guy, like someone we remember forever. And I'll remember him forever, that's for sure. But average WWE fan may not remember him in 10 years. But Vader, they should remember.
Vader was a perfect signing for WWE in the mid-90s, as he was the exact star they needed to reignite the main event scene. Vader had an incredible look, and he was a fantastic storyteller in the ring, and it seemed like a given that he'd be able to have unbelievable matches against the top names in the company, such as Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and The Undertaker. However, this run went off the rails when backstage politics played a role in Vader losing his place on the card, and he would spend the majority of his days as a lower card talent. It was previously common practice for backstage politics and influence to ruin a wrestler's run in the company.
Yeah.
His backstage heat
I've heard that.
surfaced after he messed up a spot during his SummerSlam match with Shawn Michaels, and with HBK being the way he was in '96, WWE were going to listen to every grievance he had to say. And number 1, Bret Hart.
The crazy thing is Vader was wildly successful everywhere else. He would have been a massive success with the WWE if backstage politics wouldn't have gotten involved, which is so stupid. Backstage politics are the dumbest things, and I'm glad it's not as prevalent as it used to be. I'm sure there's still backstage politics, right? I'm sure the top guys get what they want, but it feels like every story I hear from the 90s is, oh, he politicked his way, he did this, or he went and talked to this person, and then everything changed. And I'm so glad that's not the case anymore.
Hart. But WWE suffered a monumental
Bret Hart is
blow
weird.
in late '97 when Bret Hart left in favor of WCW. Hart was offered a contract that was too good to ignore, and after they delivered the infamous Montreal Screwjob, WWE and Hart's relationship was completely shattered. Hart was such a big name, and it was kind of unusual that for the first few months of his run, WCW really struggled in how to present him. As things went on, Hart looked increasingly frustrated, as he was never a wrestler to shy away from his true feelings. Just ask Bill Goldberg. Hart did great matches during his WCW run, yet he...
Okay, so this is about his WCW run. Because, like, his WWE run, like, how could you say that that was bad? Or that he downgraded? His WWE run was incredible. I feel like his WCW run wasn't that bad, but it did end poorly. Right. I think his WCW run was fine. I think it was good. It worked for him until it didn't, which is unfortunate.
Could have done so much more. In late 99, Hart would end up having a match with Goldberg that resulted in the end of his career. Hart still had years upon years left of active competition.
Yeah, he definitely
and one
did.
stiff kick took that all away from him. Even though Hart often criticizes Goldberg for the botch kick ending his career, he's always been critical of the way WCW booked him, and this is what he had to say during an interview with the Broken Skull Sessions. There was so much talent I could have worked with. Booker T, Hulk Hogan. I should have worked with Hogan right away. I should have had a Hulk Hogan in a sharpshooter and done some big numbers with him. I went into WCW, I had more heat. I'd wrestled you at WrestleMania 13, I beat Undertaker at SummerSlam, I knocked Vince McMahon out, I didn't really lose to Shawn Michaels. I had so much heat, I just didn't know what the hell to do with me.
Yeah, that is insane to think about. Is like, he had crazy heat. And if WCW doesn't do anything with that, they're like, they have a whole Monday Night War, and they're not using one of WWE's top guys or former top guys that just left the company in a huge drama unfolding way. Like, whoa, what are we doing?
WCW themselves had to say regarding Hart and his dreadful run in the company. Former WCW president Eric Bischoff had this to say on his podcast. No reflection on him, but Bret Hart, I mean, nothing good came out of it. Not for him, not for us, not for the fans. Everybody lost. But there you have it, folks. 10 wrestlers who downgraded their careers in a new promotion. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with...
Yeah, I tend to agree with all these, because I mean, metrically you can say, yeah, that these are true. It is a shame about Vader and John Morrison. That's the ones I'm disappointed about. Because if you go to Japan and talk about Vader, they view him as like Godzilla himself. Like, he was booked to be something that the average Japanese person should fear. He beat Antonio Inoki, like, after Antonio Inoki had a long-running undefeated streak. And he didn't just beat him. He kicked his tail. Like, he destroyed him. So that's just, it's insane. Insane. But yeah, that was a good video. It'll be linked down below. Go ahead and give it a like. Sub to WrestleLamia if you haven't already. And if you're watching this video, go leave them a comment. Say that you came from mine. That would be awesome. All right, we're going to take a short little tiny break, like 30-45 seconds. And then we're going to get into a 2-part video by Pinfalls and Pixels. And then I don't know if we're going to finish these 2 today, or these 3. We're going to do these 2 for sure. These 3, I think we might skip out on for the night. Maybe come back tomorrow night. We'll have to see. But I just got a text, something I need to do before I go to bed tonight, and it's going to take me a while. But yeah, be right back. I've got to call somebody real quick. Okay, sorry about that. All right, we're gonna get into the Pinfalls and Pixels videos.
This is
Pause this. Look back. This is super interesting about Just Incredible, because I remember Just Incredible being incredible, right? I guess he's scamming people now. He made a 2-part video for this, so there was enough to be a 2-parter. And if you don't know, we love Pinfalls and Pixels on this channel, on this page. So if you're not subbed to Pinfalls and Pixels, you need to go ahead and do that. Friend of the channel, friend of the stream, friend of just about everything I do. So we're mostly just doing wrestling videos here. But if you have something fun to submit, go ahead. But yeah, Just Incredible is, I don't know what he's doing, but Pinfalls and Pixels has found something out, so I'm interested to see what he says.
this is Pinfalls and Pixels, where wrestling meets gaming.
Ooh. Not so credible. Yeah.
And PJ like did such a disservice to the business. You couldn't even wait to get high or drunk or whatever till after the show, and he caused a little bit of a ruckus because he wanted to get paid, even though he didn't perform. And he actually went out into the crowd and asked the fans for money. And I had said,
No way.
Just Incredible.
No way.
Once a ECW World Heavyweight Champion, an astounding 8-time WWE Hardcore Champion,
Yeah.
and a prominent figure in ECW's Extreme Legacy. But today, we're not here to celebrate his in-ring accolades. Instead, we're diving into a darker chapter of his life. One that involves scamming podcasts,
Ooh.
YouTube channels,
Interesting.
promoters, and even worst of all, his closest supporters and fans.
That's
Today,
incredible.
We're going to dive into the stories of these fans, including my own. A Facebook post just from January 31st, 2024 stated, "Just wanted to give you all a heads up. Just Incredible is baiting fans into buying just found merchandise."
No way. No way. Hold on. I don't know if he's gonna blow up his screenshots, but no way. Yeah, it says it's been over a month. Is there any update? He says your request via Cash App. I don't know what happened, but I don't deserve to lose. I can't tell if he says you or I don't deserve to lose the money, so I'll send it to you by the end of the week. Just let me get a paycheck. Really apologize. I don't know what happened. The days were crazy, but I don't know what else to do. I did send something, but nonetheless, I will send your money back. I apologize. It's okay, thanks. That was on January 15th and now January 22nd. Just checking in on when the pay is expected to get my money back. I appreciate it.
And never sending the
That's
orders.
insane.
He wants you to cash out money, then excuses, and then blocked when asked about it.
Yeah, that's
He got you
crazy.
$40. And he is not alone. Fans, collectors, and even promoters have been sounding the alarm about Justin's scams for years. Yet, none of his peers
Oh
have
my,
called
is that him? Oh my. Just Incredible is no longer incredible. Oh my gosh. He really let himself go.
them out,
No wonder he's scamming people. He looks like a scammer now.
which is crazy to me because this type of thing really destroys trust between fans and all wrestlers, not only Justin.
Yeah, it does.
let's take a look at just how deep this rabbit hole goes. The earliest example I can find goes back over a decade.
Hold on.
Where-
It's, then about a kendo stick. I will be back in CT on Friday, so please give me a call then. Nah, it didn't come in yet. I'll call you Friday night. Hey, just checking to see if you figured out what was up with that package. Oh, so I bet he was supposed to send him like a signed kendo stick or something. And he said, yeah, it doesn't tell me what day that was, but he said I'll be back in CT on Friday. Said he'll call him on Friday night. Nothing.
where he's
And it goes
scheduled
further.
to
There's
be
another
in
message
Beijing.
down there.
Now, while he did not go into detail, a lot of these comments came from a post about old merch being sold, where Danny T would say that the guy's a effing loser. He got us too. Shaking my head. Seth K said that he bought a book from Justin.
Oh no.
And that he promised over and over he would send it, even putting more up for sale in the meantime, but never shipped. And he now won't buy from any wrestler, if not in person. Not a great guy.
Yeah, not good.
And you know, you really can't blame Seth either. For him,
No,
it's
yeah.
not-
You can't blame anybody that has a negative react or a negative interaction like this. It doesn't want to buy anything from a wrestler direct. Because like I wouldn't also like I haven't had a negative interaction, right? I haven't had many interactions with wrestlers outside of like a handful, right? I wouldn't want to buy somebody's merch over Cash App to begin with, but I would much rather have that face-to-face handoff, especially when, you know, I am a fan of this person. I would much rather have that face-to-face handoff of like, hey, this is who I am. I'm a fan of you. I'm giving you money so you can keep doing this. And that might be a little selfish. That might be, you know, bringing in something that I don't have to. But yeah, I would much rather just do a face-to-face interaction.
of trust. with
Even
each
buying
other.
stuff online that
Not just
isn't
with
like being
Justin,
sold on a
but with
website,
every wrestler.
just being sold on like Facebook
Corey
Marketplace
B
or
would
something.
comment that dude's a complete carny. Paid him to sign 200 cards and he wouldn't mail them back. Jazz called him and told him to quit dicking me around, and he finally sent them. You know, I wonder
Jeez.
if this guy's talking about the wrestler Jazz, because that would be pretty funny if she checked him. At least one person might have.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still owes me from a long time ago for his book. Sorry you got taken like a lot of us, John R. would comment.
I wonder if there was even a book. If he even wrote a book, or he just got like a sleeve and covered another book and started selling it. Because that would be a bona fide 100%. Because like so far we haven't even seen anybody own the book to be real.
Jake M would chime in and say, notorious loser. Obviously nothing has changed. Will rip off anyone. Fans, promoters, anyone. A fan named JF would state that Justin got him for $60 a couple of years ago. Can't wait to see him at WrestleCon. You know, I wonder if JF ever did see him at WrestleCon. Let us know if you watch this. Joel J said that he bought his book almost 2 years ago now. And
He
he's
never
seen
saw it. I don't believe there's a
He
book.
messaged him multiple times about
I
it.
don't believe there's a book.
Always asks for the address again and says he will send it, but never does. And this seems like a pretty common theme here. While doing research for this video, things took a really crazy turn. A Facebook comment from Deborah L said he just posted a hopefully stock photo of a necrotic diabetic leg on Twitter, asking for people to send
Oh
him money,
no.
saying he'll
Oh
send
no,
some-
he's going the sickness route. Oh no. Oh no, that's not good. Oh no. Going the hospital scam.
by tens in return. Now, I will warn you right now, this picture is kinda gross. And when I say kinda gross, I mean, it's really gross. This is the picture.
Oh,
Now that looks insanely bad. I have to really question if that is really his leg. I just
yeah, I
can't
don't
see
think
how
that's his
someone with
leg.
a leg like that would be ring ready as Justin says he is. This would catch the attention of Dustin Rhodes, who must have felt really bad. He would even retweet it and donate money. You should not have felt bad, Dustin. If anything, you should have felt bad for the fans that he scammed thinking that he needed medical help.
Jeez.
Adam E would say same, unfortunately.
Let me see what he says. I have a figure if you want it, I'll do. This is how much are you asking? $50 including shipping. It's one of a kind. Just give me your address. Promoter screwed me on an appearance last week for $400, so I'm trying to get some money up for Thanksgiving. I hate the wrestling business. Just let me know, brother. Sends him the 50. Having a hard time getting that. What's your PayPal? Oh no.
Being scammed by Justin as well.
Jeez.
Matt M would state that he got me in 2016 for $200. Dude is an absolute POS and an addict. The rap has been out on him for years.
Yeah, yeah.
Michael S said he's done this before to GTS Wrestling. Took the man's money and never showed. Then blocked Grimm. He only unblocked him when his million fans tore Justin a new a-hole.
Yikes.
An article on PWP Nation posted about this, saying, according to
I wonder what he was. Oh, probably a DUI, right? They talk about his addiction issue, so probably a DUI.
owner, promoter, and top star of GTS Wrestling Grimm, Justin Credible no-showed multiple bookings. He kept the advance payment and then blocked Grimm on all social media platforms.
Jeez.
This is as unprofessional as it can get in professional wrestling and business in general. Grimm would also put Justin Credible on blast by posting his complete BS excuses as to why he wasn't going to show up.
Jeez.
And there are other promoters also putting Justin on blast for pulling this stuff. Rich A would comment on a Facebook post saying, happened to me a year ago or so. He is a scam artist. No one should ever do business with him unless they want to donate money without thinking they will be getting anything in return. He kinda sucks. Yeah, Rich, I would say he does kinda suck.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
imagine
for sure.
my shock after all of this, Justin is still getting bookings.
Hey, you can't post that picture of Justin Credible and say that's who's showing up. That picture's from 1997. Like, that dude does not look like that anymore.
Justin is currently booked on an MWA show in Minnesota coming up.
April
I'd really
11th.
hope
Yeah, he's
they
not
don't
going to
pay
show
up
up there.
front because he's not going to be there. And that money is as good as gone. But also, why would any promotion support somebody who scams their own fans? He was recently on Briscoe and Bradshaw's podcast looking really rough.
Yeah. He's missing a
assume
lot of
he
his front
showed up
teeth,
for
too.
This one because, well, it's JBL. And also, he did not have to leave his apartment.
Yeah.
But why would they give...
Let's see. So when we shoot that out, just checking in or receive the figure and stuff. There was issues sending it out. So I hit you back up tonight. I'm at work, but I'll see what's going on with the tracking and I'll send you the number. Sorry about that. I said, all good. Thanks to you. And he gives him a thumbs up. Said that was December 23rd, 2023. January 11th, 2024. Hey buddy, just checking on how they're shipping one of my stuff. The original figure box or just the original figure I bought without any of the extras would be great. No response.
Platform though. My only guess would be is that they
yeah, this is what we read
were
earlier.
unaware of all this, as MWA may be too, as I was as well. I myself was also scammed by Justin.
No.
I thought it would be cool to get some wrestlers for drops for my YouTube channel.
Yeah, true.
15-second video clips. Justin would message me back.
So I gladly do it, but I have nothing to promote. So if you could just PayPal me $50, I'll have the video for you in less than half an hour. Just let me know. Let me know if
saying,
either way,
"Wow,
making
you
my
have nothing
schedule.
to promote." Shocker, right? He would do it
Jeez.
for $50, and he would have it back in less than 30 minutes. I really didn't want to, but I felt kind of bad, and I said, cool, let's do it next week. A few days would go by when I got a message from Justin, begging.
So I know you said Thursday for the podcast money, but I'm really hurting for food. I have nothing in the fridge and zero money and no way to get any. Is there any way you could help me with anything you will have to give me on Thursday? I'm really struggling for some food, even like $30, and we can call it a day. Crazy. Yeah, he's scamming, dude.
He will do
I've
it
seen
for
this
30
before.
if I can send it now because he's hungry. I sent him the original agreed upon 50 and was like, hey, make it dope. Couple of weeks would go by with nothing.
Said things are good, just going through some but I'll have your video in the morning, just dealing with at my house family stuff, but not your problem. I'll get it done. Not trying to ghost you or anything. Says appreciate that, looking forward to it. I hope everything goes well, you and your personal stuff. I'm also looking forward to your
A junkie excuse?
apologize. My wife has been in the hospital. I've had some pretty bad happening to me. Give me a minute, like a day or two. Please, she's got super high fever and she's not doing well. I have children and stuff, so I've been running around like crazy, not even checking my messages
much else.
actually.
I then decided I will tell him about himself and get a laugh about it. You see, I wasn't angry. $50 isn't much. But scamming fans?
Yes,
That's pretty
you got scammed.
unforgivable.
That's pretty sad.
Here is the message.
He said, all right, bet, peep this. I know you ain't finishing no video, and I don't even want anyone anymore. It looks like you've been scamming fans for a while now. How are you going to run off the plug with an 8th, Justin? W Pinballs and Pixels, bro. I ain't one of these marks, Justin. My shoe closet costs more than your apartment. Any one of the PCs in my crib costs more than your whip, Justin. I'm rocking off whites and you're snorting off white. Bro, bars. Oh, bars. We ain't built the same. I'm petty. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a YouTube video from world champion to scamming fans, and I'm gonna make my 50 pack. Matter of fact, Justin, I'm gonna make money off your name, and you can't even make money off your own name. Bro, you killed him. You killed him. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. Coming and watching all raising my kids, and you pop in and tell them how you told you. You're worse than the girls you should be posting about. Here's a link for what happened at McDonald's. Bro, you murdered Justin. Incredible. I'm gonna look at the camera when I say this. Brother, you killed him. This was enough of a message for me to never turn my back on you. If I agree to do something with you, brother, we will be doing it. I don't want a message like this. But this was a W message. W message, bro. That's insane. That's awesome.
Not censored. I even included an application to McDonald's.
Bro,
which
that's so
I didn't even
funny.
have to do.
Bro,
I did it out of kindness
Glocky
to
killed it,
actually
bro. Glocky killed
And
it.
his response to this brutal verbal assault,
I'm on it. Thank you.
I'm on.
He didn't read the message at all. Bro, he didn't read the message at all.
it. What? On what? Drugs? The application? Who knows?
Oh, that's so
And
funny.
honestly, who cares?
That's so funny.
In an update after calling
Please, what are you doing? I asked you to be nice to me while I'm going through my family stuff. Not cool. It's not like I'm not responding to you. That's not what real professionals do. So enjoy. Nobody's going to listen to you anyways. Very cruel. Well, just incredible. We're listening right now. This is awesome.
him out, he would message me back before blocking me, playing the victim, and saying nobody would listen to me. Can you imagine?
Bro's got
that?
30,000 views on this video.
I really debated
More
on
people are
making this
listening
video,
to him than Just Incredible nowadays.
But with Justin still being booked as far from Connecticut as Minnesota, I have to believe that most are not aware of any of this.
Oh yeah, if he's in yeah, he's
Just
not showing up to
Incredible.
that.
If you're watching this, it's time to make things right. Apologize to your fans. We know you can never refund your fans, but apologize. Repair the damage that you've done to your reputation. Wrestling fans are some of the most loyal and forgiving people on
True.
the planet.
For sure.
But scamming us? That's the quickest way to lose all respect. Not only for you, but for the business and other wrestlers. To everyone watching, have you been scammed by Justin or another wrestler?
I've not been scammed
Share
by
your story in
Justin.
the comments below.
But
Let's hold people
honestly, I
accountable
want to
and
test
make
it.
sure
I want
this
to
stuff
I want to
never
see if I can get
happens again.
scammed by Justin, if I can scam him right
Like,
back.
comment, and
But
subscribe, but
that's hilarious.
most importantly on this
That's
video,
hilarious.
share.
Yeah,
Share
dude, bro, this video is
everything.
hilarious.
to make fans, podcasters, and promoters aware so they do not get scammed. Thanks for watching, and I love you all.
Yeah, I probably wasn't going to work with Just Incredible to begin with, but after this video, yeah, we can throw that out of the water. Like, he wasn't even a name that came to my mind when I thought about wrestlers that I would want to work with. But yeah, ooh, we got video footage.
And don't show up drunk. Get the hell out of our show. You were my hero once. I swear to
Oh,
God. And you are a freaking disgrace now. Who are you? I'm the guy who has you here. That's paying you tonight and asks you not to come here because you reek like booze and you tell everybody you're sober.
Oh,
You're not. And all these people paid to see you and you're in there glossed over, stumbling everywhere. Get out. Dude. Get out.
bro, that's insane. That's insane. What's crazy is there's a part two. What's crazy is there's a part two, and we're about to get to that very soon. So hang around. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be out a little bit later. There's a part two. I can't wait to see what he comes up with. But yeah, W video, Pinfalls and Pixels. Always. His videos are so good. So yeah, if you're not following along with Pinfalls and Pixels, you're missing out. Make sure to give this video a like, go sub to their channel. Well worth it. Great videos. I've reacted to a handful of them. Glocky's been awesome. He's in the Discord. But yeah, Glocky's been awesome. Another W video from Pinfalls and Pixels. We're moving into part 2 now. So Just Incredible exposed part 2. Now he covered a ton of stuff in part 1, and I don't even know where he's going to be going with part 2. Part 2 could be just all testimonials, which would be hilarious. So let's get into it.
What's up, y'all? This is the one and only chocolate juggler Willie Mack. And you
Willie
watching
Mack.
Pinfalls and Pixels.
W get, brother.
Oh, hell yeah. Do it up. Best of the both worlds put together in one place. Yeah, you know you got to check it out. Go on ahead and peep it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Bam.
W get, brother. W get. Oh, we're getting more into the history of Just Incredible, I guess. Death in Japan? Is he dead? I thought he had an appearance coming up.
First off, I want to start by saying thank you for the support on my last video, and every other video for that matter. It really means a lot and I truly do appreciate it. Before we dive into this video, I want to make one thing very clear. I'm not a judgmental person. People make mistakes.
Yeah.
I make mistakes, and even wrestlers make mistakes. I've also never been the type to let something outside of the ring define how I view someone as a performer. We all deserve second chances.
No, I agree.
And
Now, there's
forgiveness-
some things that you can't really ignore, right? The handful of things you can't ignore. But for the most part, I think there's things that happen in people's personal lives that we can get past and just enjoy their in-ring ability and what's going on with them in the company, right? Because they're still people. They still make mistakes. They're not going to be perfect. And there's a lot of things we can kind of just say, hey, you did it. Let's move on. But there's some things we can't do that with, right? Like, obviously, murder. We cannot just let them come back. That's just not okay. Especially anybody with the Vince lawsuit, right? Anybody that was a named participant in this lawsuit cannot come back. That's not something we can forgive them for. That's something outside of the ring that we cannot let happen again and cannot let these people continue, right? But there are a lot of things that we as fans can kind of say, my cousin did the same thing or whatever. But
this is important. Over and over again, good people make bad choices.
Right.
But they learn from them.
Right.
Many go
Shelby
on to make
County.
the wrestling business better. Well, maybe except for Jeff Hardy. Because destroying an entire pay-per-view is kind of unforgivable. Fans paid good money for those seats. They paid.
Yeah,
to
I do
watch
feel
it
bad
on
about
TV.
that one.
And
That
I
one,
even, quite
this
frankly,
one is one
got
that,
scammed.
this one that is one that I'm not really talking about earlier. Like, that's bad. That's not really good. And that happened in ring in front of people. And so, like, that's bringing personal struggles to, millions of people. And that's not good. It's not good at all. I do love Jeff Hardy, though. And I hope that he can stay clean this time, clean and sober. I hope he's got it together. Because I love Jeff Hardy. And I would hate to watch him fall again.
Which brings me back to Just Incredible. Blocking people and silencing victims doesn't really sound like somebody who wants forgiveness. Scamming fans is already one of the lowest things that you can do. Or at least
Said I was scammed out of $200. I asked if he would do my podcast before he was actually offering it as a service. He said if I bought a cameo and some merchandise, he would do the podcast for free. None of which ever happened. And after many messages and some actual calls with both he and his wife to arrange, finally called him out on Twitter and he blocked me. So I messaged on Instagram and he said his dad had just died and my call out was inappropriate. He would then message back with a vague answers and promises like, what would you like me to do? And then never following up.
At least that's what I thought. After my last video,
I was Mr. Palacos. I guess that's his name, Just Incredible's name. Palaco. Agent from 2008-2010. Your video was excellent, but it didn't even scratch the surface. My autobiography, Wrestling with Justice, came out last year, and it told of my life in pro wrestling and law enforcement. I told every story I experienced with PJ and his wife. They've been conning people since the mid-2000s, and his wife has been dying of cancer, in quotations, for over a decade now. That was his standard excuse when he would no-show. His wife had a bad case of cancer. She's had 6 months to live since 2010. If you ever do an updated version of the video, you can use passages from my book, I Am Grateful. Fans are finally starting to wake up and see what a con man he is. Although some people will never leave his side.
I received an email from somebody who claimed to have managed Just Incredible. Not only
What
did
if it
they
was Just
manage
Incredible?
Incredible, but they wrote an entire book about their time doing so. The book is called Wrestling with Justice by Nathan Ward. Take this information however you want, but keep in mind, this is a published book.
Oh,
I'll leave a link in the description of the book. And I'll
not
leave
like
a
Just
link
Incredible's
to
one that never came out. I still wholeheartedly believe that Just Incredible never actually wrote a book, and a bunch of people got scammed believing that he did write a book. 100%.
Today we're going to dive into the Just Incredible parts of the book. The scams, the drugs, and even the death involved in this story. The first mention of Just Incredible in Wrestling with Justice appears in 2008, when Nathan organized a wrestling event featuring multiple wrestlers. He starts detailing this on page 25 in a chapter bluntly titled The Druggies.
The Druggies.
Nathan describes Just Incredible and his wife as some of the most notorious con artists and drug addicts that he has ever encountered.
Wow.
He mentions Justin's 2 terminations from WWE.
Yeah, this stable was actually pretty good. I really like the stable. That's honestly the only real memory I have of Just Incredible was a stable with X-Pac and Albert.
Which we all knew about, but I don't think any of us knew the full reasons why. According to Nathan, Justin's first firing was due to repeatedly lying to Stephanie McMahon.
Probably,
claiming
yeah.
he would be en route to a chartered flight but never actually leaving his hotel. The second termination was also a pattern of no-shows. So
Why would you hire him back? Like, why would you hire him back if you know he's just like going to lie? Like he's not going to do what he needs to do. I don't know. The WWE in the early 2000s made a lot of questionable decisions. Let's just put it that way.
Justin doesn't just have a history of no-showing local promotions.
Multiple
but
bookings and
also
kept
with
advance
WWE.
payment. Yep.
Nathan, who lived just one town over from Justin, would then propose a 50-50 split for an appearance at a
Ooh,
convention
okay.
in New Jersey. But Justin would counter with an offer that Nathan couldn't refuse.
Give him $150
$150 up front in exchange for a commitment to all bookings for the rest of the year.
That's insane.
And I mean, you know what they say. If it seems too good to be true, 9 times out of 10 it is. Nathan met up with Justin at a wrestling dojo to deliver the money. From there, they got into Justin's beat-up Buick, where Nathan met Justin's wife. He would refer to Justin's wife as Amber in the book, though anyone scammed by Justin on PayPal knows her real name is Jill.
Yeah.
Nathan then says that within moments, the money was used for drugs. Not long after, Justin then asked Nathan.
He said, wait here, I gotta buy my fix. He said, thanks for the money, bro. I'm about to go shoot up.
For another $160. This time, being upfront and saying it was for pills. He promised to repay him with a paycheck from the restaurant where he worked. Now, I have seen comments on X and YouTube that Justin definitely does or did work at a restaurant, which adds a little credibility to Nathan's claims.
It is kind of sad to see such a hard fall from the top. Just Incredible was the top of ECW at one point, right? ECW fails. Just Incredible goes to the WWE. The WWE has a spot for him, right? He's just got to show up and do his job. The WWE has him in a faction with people who, I don't know if Albert will go to the Hall of Fame. I think he should, because he's been with NXT almost since the inception as a trainer and killed it down there. I've never heard a bad thing about him as a trainer. And, you know, X-Pac is a Hall of Famer with DX. There was potential there for something incredible, and he could not do it. And it is incredibly sad. Like, addiction is one of the saddest things to watch, and we're watching it not in real time, but like we're watching events unfold that tell us why somebody who had it all is now working in a kitchen, in a beat up Buick, and addicted to drugs. We don't know what drugs, but drugs, obviously.
Nathan would go on to lend Justin over $500 and even put him on a cell phone plan, since Just
Wow,
Incredible
that
didn't
was
even have a phone.
extremely generous.
The result was a $700 phone bill in the first month.
Jeez.
Justin also would then write Nathan 2 checks totaling $460, both of which bounced. Because
Yeah,
of
that
course,
sounds about right.
Nathan would then attempt to have Justin work off his debt through autograph signings and a shoot interview. The interview, according to Nathan, was subpar. But
Yeah,
it did
I mean,
include
yeah.
something very shocking and disturbing. Nathan claims that during the interview, Justin talked about a time he was in Japan with wrestler Jerry Twight. Now, I have to admit, I'm not very familiar with Jerry.
Yeah, I've
also
never heard
known
of him.
as The Wall.
Oh,
But he
I've
had
heard of
an
The
extensive
Wall.
Career, wrestling for almost every major promotion, including WCW, ECW, and TNA. In the
Oh, yeah,
interview,
yeah, yeah.
Just Incredible would claim that he had his wife overnight him some pills to Japan. He then shared those pills with Jerry. The next day, Jerry was found in his hotel room dead. Now, I did look this up on Wikipedia, and Jerry did die in Japan. The official cause of
That's
death was
crazy.
listed as a heart attack, but a citation notes that nothing was conclusive. Further research shows that Jerry and Justin actually tag teamed together the night before Jerry's death.
That's
So
crazy.
to me, this really doesn't seem like some made-up claim that Nathan.
That's
made, so-
insane. Did he just admit to giving somebody pills, giving him pills and him overdosing, and then him just waking up with a dead body in his hotel room? That's insane. That's crazy.
Seems to be some truth.
That's crazy.
In the interview, Justin would allegedly say that he wished the pills got lost in the mail. For Justin Incredible to openly discuss his involvement in giving Jerry pills the night before his passing is at best an incredibly reckless thing to say, and at worst, a chilling insight into what was really going on behind the scenes. Later in the book, Nathan described walking in on Justin and an older woman in a compromising position. The woman would later claim some of her jewelry went missing. Nathan then recounts all of the personal items of his that went missing, like a PSP.
A PSP,
phone,
bro. Come
even
on.
a bottle of pills that he had.
Bro,
for
come
medicine.
on.
He also claims that one night Justin was drinking and taking Xanax, trying to fight him. Later, Justin's wife Jill would try to escape Justin by hiding in Nathan's hotel room. Justin would storm in, assault Jill, take her cigarettes, and then leave.
Jeez.
Nathan later wrote in the book that Justin's dad would find Justin and Jill in a drugged out state. He would then contact the authorities, hoping they would force the two into rehab. But the result was the two kids being removed from the home.
Oh my, they had kids? Yeah, that's the right course of action, to remove the kids. What the heck, bro? Yeah, remove the kids.
Also, according to Nathan,
This should have been done. I don't even know how old the kids are, but that should have been done like year one.
Justin would be fired from jobs for being dope sick, and even accused him and his wife of food stamp
Yeah.
fraud.
Yeah, that's
The
a
book goes into
yeah,
a
sounds
lot
about
of
right.
Justin scamming, forging checks, and becoming heavily dependent on Suboxone. Justin and Jill would spend every dollar on drugs and
Yeah.
divide the stashes to hide from each other. Nathan talks about a time when Justin's wife burned her stash on accident when she hid it underneath the stovetop.
Hid it underneath the stovetop? Yeah, they were drugged out of their mind. To be like, I burnt it. How did you do that? I hid it under the stovetop and tried to cook some ramen.
Further in the book, Nathan recounts times Justin would search ashtrays outside of stores for
Ugh.
cigarettes to smoke.
I've seen people do that.
The book goes into a lot more of Justin's petty scams and theft, but what stuck out to me was when Nathan questioned Jill's cancer diagnosis.
Ooh,
A
can't do
post
that.
from 2018 would say she only had 6 months to live.
This is, all I'm saying is wrestling is supposed to be a simulated fight or stunt shows. This is young men are rarely talented where they're not professional wrestling. And then he would say, just found out my wife has 6 months to live. So how do you process that? Please pray for us.
Nathan claims this was only to elicit financial support, and
Yeah,
said that Justin
sounds about right.
often used it as an excuse to no-show events. He says while he could never say for sure, he is 99.9% certain it was fake, and that in 2025, she is alive and well.
Yeah, because I guess that's something that pulls on a lot of people's heartstrings is cancer, right? Every person in the world, I feel like, has had at least one person they know been affected by cancer. Maybe not died, maybe not even had it, but they know somebody who knows somebody who's had it and the toll that it has taken on their family. That's how common cancer is. So if you're going to scam, using cancer is easy because it's very common, but it's also very, it's also a horrible thing to do because there's a lot of people who are very emotional about cancer and will do things to help people that obviously are scam, and they will overlook things because, oh, so-and-so has cancer.
I mean, about as well as you could be for being a junkie, I guess.
Yeah.
The breaking point for Nathan would come when one evening he would find syringes and caps across the floor at Justin's house, all while a toddler roamed the home. And that is when Nathan decided he was done with Justin Credible. There's a lot of good stories.
Yeah, that's a good indication. Like, how did they get the kids back unless they had another kid? Like CPS, this is one of those cases where I'm pro CPS. Usually I'm not, super, take the kids, but this is one of those times where we need to get these kids out of here and into a healthy home. Otherwise, they're going to suffer 100% without a doubt. And their suffering will begin a cycle of the same abuse because it's all they've seen and all they know. These are kids that probably wouldn't even get to go, like they would go to school maybe, like just maybe go to school. They would probably not be fed a full meal. Like these kids, they're children. They didn't do anything wrong. They definitely deserve a loving household and a supportive household. And they would not have gotten that with Justin Credible and his wife, Amber.
Stories in
Or
this
Jill,
book.
whatever you want to
Not
call
only
her.
just incredible stories, but Bret Hart, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, Mickey James, and more. And not all of the stories in this book are negative.
I would hope
really
so.
recommend checking the book out. Like I said, the link is in the description where you can even use a free trial to read it.
Oh, nice.
The amount of stories...
W Pinfalls and Pixels. We love free trials. We love free stuff. Good on you. I know at least 8 people that bought merch never realized it got blocked when they asked for an update.
from all over the internet and in the comments.
Not shocked. Not shocking. A promotion in Iowa worked for before they tried booking him last year. He no-showed and of course kept the
section of
money.
My last video is mind-blowing.
I remember he was meant to tag with Lance Storm for a match, I think, in 1PW, which they hyped up for a lot. It's their first time tagging in almost a decade at that point, and he no-showed, and Lance was pissed.
But what's
Crazy.
also equally as mind-blowing is the amount of people that are unaware of all of this. His peers are unaware.
Well, I think the big problem is nobody thinks of Justin Credible anymore. But he doesn't have like a die-hard fan base anymore. Like Stone Cold's got a die-hard fan base for as long as they live. Nobody cares about Justin Credible anymore. But this is super interesting. Like nobody wants Justin Credible on the next WWE taping at all. Not even anywhere near it.
The promotion's
wouldn't
booking
crack the
men
top
are
100.
unaware. The podcast
This guy owes me money. He'd paid to interview with a pod and disappeared. I helped him out with money a few times because I thought we were friends. Ooh, that's
are
where you
unaware.
messed up.
All of the people losing their money are unaware. Nathan emailed me and said that he plans on talking to.
After seeing dozens of not hundreds of people stating they got scammed, I'm going to speak to the district attorney next week, see if we can if people can start submitting evidence, if they'll open up a case against them.
To see
Ooh,
if there's anything
W
we can
Pinballs and
do about
Pixels, bro.
Justin's scams.
W Pinballs and
But I wouldn't
Pixels.
hold my breath. And honestly, who cares? He will be a broke loser whether he's in jail or not.
100%. Like, this
I
isn't
really
going to do
enjoy
anything good
making
for his
this
life.
Video, and I wasn't motivated to do so. I don't expect Justin Credible to ever change.
No, not at all.
He is a jabroni and will always be one. I really appreciate everybody watching this video. Be sure to give it a like. Drop
Yeah,
a comment
definitely give it
if
a
there's
like.
Anything else you'd like to see a video of, and subscribe. This is Glocky, and I'll see you on the next one.
That was the first match against Savio Vega. And they're like, don't worry, Aldo will be there. I'm literally getting dressed, and I was drunk. Putting my stuff on in the car, driving.
He says he was drunk like he should be proud of it. Like he's about to go to work. He shouldn't be drunk. Simple as that.
Driving about, I mean, I know you guys do kilometers, but driving very fast. I mean, at least 80 miles an hour.
True that you smuggle some drugs for Shawn Michaels.
Well, it wasn't for Shawn.
Oh, okay.
It was for me.
Fair.
I was doing cocaine.
Jeez, bro. It's just sad. Like, there's nothing positive to take out of this video other than people are finding out that they're not to trust Justin Credible. Yeah, that's insane. Like, I don't feel bad enough to go DM him and send him money, for sure. I'm not supporting a drug addict. But, like, I do feel bad that he doesn't, like, I don't think he'll ever realize he has a problem. And that's what I feel bad about. Is we can tell him he has a problem. The last video got 30,000 views. 30,000 people could tell him he has a problem, and he would still ask him for $20. And that's sad. That's honestly sad. It's like it's messed his brain up. His brain chemistry's probably just fried, to be honest with you. I'm surprised he has memories of wrestling. Like if he shows up to that event he's booked at, I'd be surprised if he could even take a simple bump without breaking his back. That's crazy. That's insane. But I think that's where we're going to call it tonight. There are 3 more videos that I want to watch that we might get to tomorrow. I'm going to go live for just a little bit. I have to record the SmackDown episode of In Case You Missed It Wrestling tomorrow and get that edited and cut up. So could possibly see you tomorrow. I will make an announcement about that. It honestly just depends on how long it's going to take me to record and edit. Like if I record it and it doesn't take that long, I know I can edit it pretty quick because it's mostly just cutting out dead spaces and wrong words. It only takes me a few hours. I'm not adding any like crazy things in the background. So if I can get it recorded at a good time, I'll probably go back live again tomorrow. But for tonight, that will be it. Let's see. Do we want to do a raid? Yeah, nobody I know is live. So, yeah, I think we're just gonna call it a night. So, hope you guys have a good night. And I'll see you later.